here it is. So this one is showing you the, let's see here, the quantity being processed. This is the cycle time, how long it's going to take, the value added time, the cost, if there's any cost. But this is showing that the X-ray is, you can go down there. You have the time here on the top right corner. So we're in 38 minutes, 40 minutes from the process. 4 items being processed at a time. You have the X-ray being received here. And then the process being done here, okay? So every X-ray is being received and have the process being done. And now we spend 1 hour and 8 minutes, 4 have been received, now 5 have been received and processed, okay? And we're gonna see what cycle time is and value added time is as well. So you can see that now it's still 1 hour and 25 minutes and we want 4,000 hours. So that's first great news for you guys that we can just drag this to the right and it will run really fast, okay? So you can see 1,000 minutes. So what's doing here is processing 7,000 more units processed. It's going to give you 2 information here, the cycle time and the value added time, okay? So the cycle time will be the total of flow time. Remember, we learned that, you know, in previous class. So that's the time with waste and processing time together, okay? And that's the average total flow time. The value added VA time is value added time. So that's only the core processing time, okay? And here's giving about 12 minutes, which was the process average for this process step anyway, right? We had 15, almost 16,000 units that were processed. On average, it took 58 minutes total flow time and value added flow time about 12 minutes. And then this is the what I consider to be the dumbest question of all times. Do you want to see the results, right? So we did all that, and of course we want to see the results. So click yes, please, or you're gonna put everything that we just worked into the trash. And it gives you the answer, right? So here in this page of the notes, you have the answers. And you have to know how to interpret that because we're going to do that multiple times. So you have here just telling, you know, what kind of where the file was saved, and they have receive doc in queue and receive doc. So receive doc is the process tab of receiving document, and in queue is the queue before it, right? Remember, we have a queue and they have a process. So it tells the capacity, how many entities get in. So in this case, how many X-rays got in. What is the average time per entry? So on average, an X-ray was there for 46 minutes. The document was at the receive doc process for about 12 minutes, which it was the average that we put in our process, 12 minutes exponential, remembers. The average content there, so the received in queue was about 3 on average, and 0.79 at the process maximum. So we had up to 30 different faxes there, or X-rays there. And this is the utilization. So what is the percentage of time that receive doc was being used? So on average, about 80%, okay? Here it gives you also, this is just for the in queue step. So it was empty about 40% of the time. You have it here. And here is the receive doc process, which run for 4,000 hours, and it was used by 80% of the time. So remember that we talked about, okay, was that going to be a waiting line or not, right? Because you have one product arriving every 15 minutes and the process working every 12 minutes. But in fact, on average, there were 3 there waiting, right? Because of that variation that occurred. Our capacity calculation, we never found that out. We only found it out on the simulation because of the variation that were occurring in the 2 processes at the same time. And here we have important information. So average cycle time was about 60. Average value added time, which is the core processing time, was 12, right? So that's important information for us. Remember, we learned how to calculate the process efficiency and all that good stuff. So that's the waiting time, right? So the waiting time is the difference. So it's the 58 minus 12. That's how much time it was just waiting, okay? In the line, right? In this case, before being processed at the receiving document process, right? So if you take 58 minus 12, you're going to get to that, which is 46. So 46 minutes about of waiting and 12 minutes of processing, right? That's how long our product was waiting. Okay, and that's the average per entity being entering the process, which was 15 minutes exponential, so it was an average a little bit different. Okay, so that's the first one, the example that we have. You guys need to, you could stop the video while you're doing, so you can run and do things the same way as I'm doing here, or you can now try to do that simulation and see if you can get to the same results.